Hey everybody, Jeremy here from Nomebot Studios. I am back again with another Grit Fantasy RPG video. Today's topic will be the Encounter Builder. Now, this is the second builder out of 4. The first video I did was on the Story Builder, and this kind of follows that up. You can combo this pretty well with the Story Builder. So you have the Story Builder, Encounter Builder kind of meshed together a bit. The Encounter Builder is more about the monsters, their mindset, and kind of what they're doing. And it also gives a complication that's going on that can kind of be added to your scenario. Now, you can run the Encounter Builder on its own without the Story Builder. And in the case of maybe a hex crawl or dungeon crawl or just creating random encounters for your sessions, the Encounter Builder could definitely be used for that, to quickly generate a monster and kind of what's going on with them. So on the left side, I've got the book pulled up once again. I am going to kind of speed through the book here and get to the right page. And I have to mention, I did add music to the starting of the video here. It's taken me a while. I'm learning slowly to add stuff to the production of this stuff. I'm new to the YouTube scene, so bear with me as I kind of improve things. Okay, so here is the Encounter Builder. This builder, I'm just going to read this. This builder can be used to create a single encounter or to supplement the Story Builder. For a random encounter, follow the 4 steps to generate a monster and its mindset, followed by an action and complication. So the first part of this, number 1, is just rolling out a random monster. There's going to be 4 types. That's going to be up on the upper left side. So this would be a D4 roll. There's 4 types of monsters: humanoid, common, grit, and custom. So first one is the humanoid, and that's directly to the right. And this basically is taking the lineages and making bad guys out of them. So these humanoid monsters do not have focus dice or abilities that the characters have, but they do have a stat block and a feature. So with the humanoid, I would roll a d6 to see what type of humanoid monster they are: assassin, bandit, cultist, and so on. And then I'd roll for the lineage, out of the 12 that are available for characters. Also, there's common monsters, and those are the basic some of the basic monsters you're going to find in almost any RPG. There's all the giant stuff like giant rats and snakes, and then there's goblins, ogres, skeletons, trolls, zombies, that kind of stuff. The next one is the grit monsters, and those are designed specifically for grit. You're going to see them nowhere else but in Grit Fantasy RPG. And there are a lot of really cool ones, so check those out if you got the book. And then the 4th type is a custom monster, and that is requiring the monster builder. So I'm going to roll up an encounter today, and if I do get custom, I'm going to skip over that and re-roll, because I want to cover that in a different video. I also, the next one, number 2, that's the mindset. That's just basically, what's the mental space of this monster? And that's a d20 roll. And again, with all of this stuff, like all the builders, you can pick from the list. You can decide not to roll for one of these, or you could just roll on one if you wanted to. There's all different kinds of ways to use this. It's just all about getting your creative flow going for when you're prepping your games. Third one is action. So this is what the monster is actually doing at the time the characters are kind of showing up on the scene. So there's going to be 2 columns of those, a d20 roll, and then a complication. And that's just something extra that's happening in the scene that's sort of related to the monsters. So you could just roll a complication if you wanted to add to your story builder. Okay, so there's again a lot of different ways you can roll with this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take what I rolled out for the story builder in my last video and kind of mesh it with what I roll today. Okay, so on the right hand side here, I've got survival, foothills, labyrinth, odd scarecrows, and unearthed relics. So that's what came up on the story builder in my last video. Now that alone could be enough, to get things going. But if you wanted more, Encounter Builder just meshes well with that. So if you're looking for a specific monster to use, this is a good fit. Okay, so I'm going to just start here, and I'm going to roll out a d4 to see what kind of monster it is. So we're looking at humanoid, and I'm writing these down so I remember. Humanoid. Actually, I'm going to just I'm just going to highlight these. Okay, so humanoid is on page 61, so that's a nice thing about this also is that it has all the monsters that I need here, like all the things listed out. So just one page that I need to go to find what is in the book for all the monsters. And also these page numbers help you. That'll bring you right to that start of the section for those. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, because it's a humanoid monster, is roll a d6. So I've got Thug. All right, and the Thug is going to have its own stat block, and it's going to have one feature, okay? And all these humanoid monsters are probably going to have just basic gear, the short swords or darts and daggers and stuff like that. It's up to you to kind of come up with those details, and it's really not terribly hard to do that. You can just probably roll on the basic gear items, the weapons and armor, and that the characters use. And okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the lineage. So 7. So I've got Hoblin. So I've got Hoblin thugs involved here. Could be comical. Usually is with Hoblins. Okay, so the other two lists here, common and grit, I don't worry about those because I've got a humanoid monster. I'm gonna roll for the mindset. And this could determine sort of how you fit this into the scenario, right? Bloodthirsty, number 5. So these are not very nice little hoblins, right? And we go to action. Let's see what they're going to do. So with this, I'm going to roll a d20 and then a d4. So 1 through 2 is the first column. 3 through 4 is the second column. And I rolled a 10 on the d20 and a 2 on the d4. So I've got gathering. That, I think, works well with our roll that we had for the story builder. And then the last thing is a complication. So I'm going to roll a d12 and a d4. I've got a 7 and a 4. Toxic pollen. Now, if something just absolutely does not mesh with what you've rolled for the story builder, if you're working these two together, you can always re-roll, or just pick one in the row, that may fit better. With the toxic pollen, I could have had repellent stench, stinging beetles, rolling barrels, but I guess toxic pollen could just go with that. And you're not obligated to, keep these. These are just idea builders, like I said before. Okay, so just to recap that, I've got a Hoblin Thug, or a group of Hoblin Thugs that are bloodthirsty, gathering something, and there's toxic pollen involved. So when I look at this survival thing in the foothills with a labyrinth, I think of I was thinking some kind of corn maze, but maybe it's more like a hedge maze. And there's like these viney flowers that have these toxic pollen plumes that are coming off them. And kind of buried within this labyrinth are these unearthed relics. Now, these bloodthirsty hoblins, they're gathering these unearthed relics. Or maybe they're gathering these flowers that have the toxic pollen. Maybe they're gathering something else. Maybe they're gathering trophies from unsuspected victims within the labyrinth. Who knows? But at least there's something to work with there, And again, the idea is this is to get you to the table quickly, get your prep down to a minimum. And I think that did that, I think we have something interesting to like introduce to your session here. So, and that's pretty much it, Again, you could use these as you want. If you want to just roll a monster and not anything else, you can do that. If you just really want to add like another layer, like I said, to your story builder, you can just roll on the complication, and that can kind of give you that little extra tweak on the story builder. You can also use the action and mindset for NPCs. It doesn't always have to be a monster. So there's just a lot of different ways to like introduce this into your games. So, and that's what I wanted to showcase today. And so I think that just sort of wraps things up for what I wanted to cover. It's pretty quick video here, but I'm just going through these builders because I think they're really worth the attention. And like I said in the first video, they're kind of hidden in the book. They're in the middle, page 50, 49, 50. And you may kind of pass over them thinking, they're just a bunch of tables. But if you really get into it as the GM, you'll notice that, you'll realize if you use these a couple times that these are very useful. So that's why I'm going through them. Okay, well, I just want to say thank you so much for stopping in and watching this video and watching my other videos if you've done that. And if you're kind of new to Grit Fantasy RPG and haven't looked through the book yet or found much information on it, there's, of course, a bunch of other videos on it. But you can also go to DriveThruRPG and check them out. I've got a PDF, softcover, and hardcover available. If you get the softcover and hardcover, you get the PDF for free with it. I also have some token sets available that are Grit specific as well. So anyway, that is all I have to say, and just want to say take care of yourselves, guys. I hope you're out there gaming, and don't forget to roll those dice.